Sonic Adventure 2 is not very good.
What?
And that's coming from me, one of the biggest Sonic the Hedgehog fans on the planet.
Look at this dude.
If you know me, I love almost everything Sonic the Hedgehog. I like Sonic games, movies, cartoons, comic books. I just really love Sonic the Hedgehog, probably more than any human should. You guys probably know that too well. My name is literally SpeedSuperSonic. I've been making Sonic the Hedgehog videos for almost 7 years, so please don't start cracking your knuckles and claiming that I'm not a real Sonic fan. Just because I have problems with this game doesn't mean I'm more or less of a fan than anybody else, and yes, I have problems with this game.
Why you boring me? I'm right.
I am 18, so factually I wasn't alive when this game came out. So as a fan of Sonic and just pop culture in general, I try not to criticize things with a modern view, meaning I'm not going to compare a game from almost 20 years ago to the latest AAA titles. That's ridiculous. So I try to put myself in the headspace of somebody who was alive and could comprehend video games in 2001. And if I was around back then, I still probably wouldn't enjoy the game that much, from a certain point of view. This game is carried on in so many different facets and has had its own story translated into other media, so I'm not going to talk about like Sonic X adaptations of this game. You know, it's not Sonic Adventure 2's fault for having Chris in this adaptation. Like, the game did nothing. They did not need to put Chris in here. This show didn't even have to have Chris in the first place. I hate Chris. I despise Chris. Get him out of my face.
And that's the reason you finally rescued me.
Hands off.
Yo, holy shit, he's dead! Let's go!
So before I whine and complain about the things I don't like about Sonic Adventure 2, I'm gonna talk about the things I like. I can always go back to any piece of Sonic media and find things that I enjoy. I do this pretty often as a big Sonic fan, so I can have a hearty laugh with the boys, or because I hate myself. So you bet your bottom dollar that there are things in Sonic Adventure 2 I like. Starting with number 1. The story. I think the story in Sonic Adventure 2 is absolutely amazing. In fact, I think it's the best Sonic story of all time. That's right, I think it's better than Adventure, Unleashed, Black Knight, some of the other highly acclaimed Sonic stories. And that's saying a lot coming from me, okay? I really don't like this thing. Sonic Adventure 2 has the perfect Sonic the Hedgehog tone in my opinion. It takes itself seriously while not being edgy, it's still cartoonish, there's still jokes in it, but they're actual stakes. They take the situation seriously. Eggman feels like a real villain. Our main characters treat the situation like it should be treated. The characterization's pretty great in it. They're not overblown stereotypes, they're their own characters. And the game's from 2001. This was a cell phone in 2001. You know how many SpeedSuperSonics were in 2001? 0. So I think it's pretty impressive that Sega was able to do some of the stuff that they did with characters and story around this time. Going from this,
Watch out! You're gonna crash! Ah!
to this.
He was what he was. A brave and heroic hedgehog who gave his life to save this planet. Shadow the Hedgehog.
Is pretty impressive. The immersion, as my friend Ellis Mark says, I mean Splash Dash, works amazing here, compared to a game like Forces. Cutscenes that establish where you are, what your next adventure holds, it makes you feel like you're a part of the universe. I love the original ideas here, the new ideas. The idea and concept of a Robotnik lineage is really awesome. The 2 new characters in Shadow and Rouge were amazing additions. Shadow steals the show here. He's amazingly written, has one of the best character arcs in all of Sonic the Hedgehog history, probably the best. You see why everybody fell in love with this character and just wanted him to continue. It seems like everybody just has a purpose in this game. Amy, who you don't even play as, has a major role in this game. She progresses Shadow as a character, and while I would like to see her get her own development as a strong female protagonist, she still did contribute to the story. She wasn't just tagging along for the sake of it. Sonic feels like Sonic. He's not an over-cocky, confident douchebag. He cares about his friends, he cares about the stakes. This situation is extremely serious and life-threatening and world-threatening, but Sonic will always find some levity in any situation. He'll always be able to crack a joke, but at a proper and appropriate time, unlike more recent titles.
Oh hey, sounds like the party started. Wanna let me go and join in? No? Of course not. You hate fun.
Shut!
The story writing and interpretations of these characters is the best in all of the Sonic the Hedgehog video game series. This is the stuff we need. This is the greatest Sonic the Hedgehog plot, story, whatever you want to call it, of all time. Sega, why isn't he writing the games? He said he wants to. But no, you want to go with these 2 goofballs. You want to go with Megamon looking at I'll go with Mike Wazowski looking.
No, my
Sorry.
bad.
Number 2, I like the Chao Garden. It's pretty cute. It's a fun time killer. But that's it. I hate everything else about this game. This game infuriates me. Every time I play this game, I question my sanity. Ever since I was a little kid growing up trying to become a Sonic fan, I was always told, Sonic Adventure 2, man, that's the best one. Best Sonic game ever made. You'll love it. And when it came to Xbox 360 through Xbox Arcade, I downloaded it, I played it, and I hated it. I hated it from the first time I played it, and I've tried to make it seem like I do enjoy it ever since I was a little kid, but as an adult, I can come to terms with the fact that this game just doesn't get me going like it gets a lot of you guys going. Why? Well, I think it's finally time that I get into that. The main reason I don't like this game is because it's boring. I'm sorry, it's boring. I know it can be very deceiving because the beginning of the game is absolutely spectacular. The opening of the game is a cutscene where Sonic escapes the police and says, y'all. Sonic is very ahead of his time. As he falls to the city below him where he snowboards through the streets of San Francisco.
Well, shit.
That is badass. I would be a contrarian, ignorant fool if I didn't acknowledge that this game is one of the best openings in Sonic history. It's so fun. City Escape is truly one of the best Sonic levels, but once when you reach that goal ring, everything just goes downhill. Now, when I say this, I'm not saying that I expect every single level to be City Escape. That's a hard task. That's like asking every single Sonic level in Sonic 1 to be Green Hill Zone. You can't replicate that. It's just its own iconic thing. But my god, does every stage from here get incredibly mundane, boring, bland, and uninteresting. I feel like everybody has beat the Mech and Treasure Hunting stages to death. So before I get into those briefly, I want to mention my controversial take. I don't think the speed stages are that great.
Nigga, no.
Now when I say this, I'm not saying they're bad or that they're horrible, but they're not nearly as fun as Sonic Adventure 1 stages, and to me there's something that just feels off about it. It just feels rather linear compared to its adventure counterpart. That game is a bit more open and free to explore and do things with. But here there's a lot of automation, and Sonic kind of just feels a lot more weighted than he did in Sonic Adventure 1. But I'm not sure, maybe that's a preference thing, this is mainly subjective. There's nothing inherently wrong with it, but I do think it is a step down from the first Sonic gameplay style that we had in Adventure 1. Once again, it doesn't bother me that much, I just don't like it as much as the other adventure gameplay style. But moving on, I referred to this earlier, the other playstyles. I'm sorry guys, I've tried to find enjoyment in both of these, but I just can't. They're just not fun. For whatever reason, Sega decided to make these the worst treasure hunting levels in all of treasure hunting. Yes, I like the Sonic 06 treasure hunting more than this. You wanna know why? There's no mad space in Sonic 06. The worst offense in Sonic 06 is that sometimes you'll stick to the wall and you have to play in the dark for a bit, but that's it. They don't even force you to find different artifacts. It's just platforming and finding certain things. It's much more intuitive and way more fun, but here, it's absolutely horrible. Why? Because there's mad space. The worst level. I was not able to finish Sonic Adventure 2 as a kid because I couldn't get past this. In fact, I still haven't beat mad space to this day. I've had to have friends beat it for me. Oh, and to mention, Sonic Adventure 2 decided to change up the radar system a bit. That's right, you only can go one at a time, from left to right. So if you're standing right next to one, and it's maybe third on the list of emerald shards that you have to get, it doesn't blink. You have to go one by one. You can't go out of order. Why? Because it doesn't make sense, and Sega loves to not make sense. With the combination of stupid time limits,
5 minutes should be plenty.
weird controls where some stuff sends you into the air, you have to go underwater, and you might die if you don't do it perfectly, it can be absolutely infuriating, and it makes me dread playing Sonic Adventure 2. That alone, the treasure hunting alone, makes me dread it. And that's not even counting the other worst offender, the mech stages. Treasure hunting can be infuriating because of how fundamentally flawed it is, but the mech stages are just flat out boring. The worst thing entertainment can do is bore me. Things can be not exciting as long as they're interesting and intelligent, but that only can apply to like film. In a video game, I want to cut loose and have some fun. Maybe challenge myself a bit, but this just doesn't provide that. I walk around in this bulky little thing, just shooting at robots constantly. Where's the enjoyment? Where's the creativity? Why did they decide to go with this? Why did Sega have the need in the early 2000s to have Sonic characters shoot at things? Seriously, what was their obsession with this? So let me get this straight. Sega can listen to a couple of edgy white kids from the US ask for Sonic characters to wield guns, but they can't give me the simple request that every Sonic fan has been asking for a Sonic Adventure 3, which is a money printing machine. Sorry, sometimes you just gotta live and learn. It just makes this game feel extremely disjointed and unenjoyable to play for the most part. Yeah, it adds more variety and more things to do, and that's great, but the execution of it and how it turned out was not the way to go. In terms of making a cohesive package, there were other options they could have gone with if they wanted Knuckles and Tails to be in this game. Why couldn't Knuckles have been a brawler slash platformer? Kinda similar to the Werehog, but also kind of like how Knuckles plays in 06? And I'm sure Sega thought that Tails sections in Sonic Adventure were a bit too easy, so they wanted to provide some extra challenge, but where's the challenge here? It's just shooting, pressing one button while moving forward the entire time. It's almost like Tails wasn't supposed to be in this game. Oh, maybe that's because he wasn't, but it's because of fan outcry that he was. It was a last minute decision and it did not pay off well. It's almost like Yuji Naka was like, oh, you guys want Tails? Hope you like it. They should have simply limited Tails to a supporting role, only incorporating him in terms of transportation, such as the tornado or a highway section like is already in the game. Stuff like that can work. Limiting his gameplay like is done in Sonic 06, I feel like I'm bringing that game up a lot, works. It makes sense in the story and it feels right. But everything here with Tails just seems forced. A lot of stuff in this game just feels forced and unnecessary. It's perfectly fine that people love this game. It's understandable. This game isn't even that bad. This is not an objectively bad game. It's not a glitchy mess. It doesn't lack personality. People clearly tried on this game and it shows. It feels like a AAA title. You can tell that the people making this game really cared because they knew this was going to be Sonic's last outing on a first-party console, and it's not some mediocre lack of trying game like Forces, but it's messy. It's messy and it doesn't stick the landing on a majority of its elements. It really annoys me when people just flat out ignore the other aspects of this game that people just know aren't good. Like, yes guys, there are other aspects of this game than just the speed stages. And don't get me wrong, the speed stages are pretty good. Are they my favorite speed stages in any Sonic game? Do I think that they're better than the first Sonic Adventure? No, but they're not bad. As I said, City Escape is amazing and a majority of the speed stages are pretty good. The story is absolutely fantastic, some of the best I've seen in a Sonic game, if not the best. The Chao Garden is so fun and addicting, and that music, man. The music really just hits you different, doesn't it? But that's like a solid 45, 50. But the other half of that is miserable. Tell me, do you guys get giddy in your seats when you see this or this? No. You feel an immense amount of dread. This game has high highs and has low lows. And unfortunately the low lows far outweigh the high highs. And it sucks, because even some of the speed stages have stuff weighing it down. The final levels of Sonic and Shadow's stories suck. I'm sorry, they suck. I've tried my entire existence of being a Sonic fan to like this game, because it's almost mandatory for every Sonic fan to love this game. And believe me, I really want to. But I'm allowed to have my own opinion, and my opinion is that this game just kind of sucks. There are things to go back to, there are things to enjoy, but as a whole package, it's not that great. If you loved Sonic Adventure 2, I'm happy for you. That's awesome. Don't let this video take away from that fact. We're allowed to enjoy and not enjoy entertainment, but please, don't fall into the extremes. I'm sick of extremes. This is not the greatest game ever made, and this is not the worst game ever made. It's not what Pro Jared said. This is not an awful game. Like, shut up, Momo. Just because I don't enjoy it doesn't mean I'm on that level of an extreme. But I'm also not this dude. This is not the greatest Sonic game ever made, to me, and that's okay. Opinions are not objective. They're subjective. They're not fact. Sometimes we just need to step back, take off the rose-tinted glasses, and just accept that this is not the greatest and worst thing ever made. It's just flawed.
25, they said 25 on P on side, he just turned 18. Sun shining when they hit my cousin, it was like a month past MLK day. Sit some nights, I see him between the shadows and my smoke, man. God could watch me sin, he turned away from all my foes, man. 45.